Alright, Palo Gonzalez, Fight Sport Manila, and I'm very excited right now because I have a special guest with me. We had this planned out for the longest time. Finally, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
We got Coach Castro. Coach, how you doing?
How you doing, bro? Good to see you.
Thanks so much.
Out, man.
I'm like genuinely excited because if you don't remember, if you like watch back all our other interviews,
yeah.
I keep saying we need to have tacos together. All right, again, this is George Castro, and we'll visit Alliance and hopefully have burritos after.
Yeah, hey, burritos always, bro. Always burritos.
All right, and again, we'll look forward to the opening of the gym. We still have burritos in each other's name on it.
But you know what? Taco Tuesdays, I'm running it again at Flying House in Miganawa.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taco Tuesday starting this Tuesday. So everybody come down and enjoy my mom's tacos that I'm making. So there it is there.
We do, and obviously I think we should just cut the interview now and just eat.
Yeah, definitely. So the interview's over. We're gonna die.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so Coach Castro, let's start first with like your beginnings. You know, you have a lot of things under your hat. You're a coach. You're like a fitness instructor. You did pro wrestling. You did MMA. Like, which one went first?
Well, I first started training in MMA in 2001. I got introduced to it by Don Fry, and he had just beat Ken Shamrock in Japan. That was the last fight before I actually got on his team. So, you know, back then the sport was still new. It was just pretty much tough guys. It wasn't even, I mean, like it is now. There's so many athletes coming from different sports. Back then it was just a bunch of guys, you know, training and learning martial arts, but it was just different training back then. It was pretty much go in there, let's beat each other up, and that was practice, you know. So now it's just a lot more mainstream. There's more, you know, there's better coaching, there's more information. So MMA's come a long way, but I'm happy to say that I came and I learned from a pioneer like Don Fry, you know. So I'll always give him credit for getting me into the sport.
Well, aside from MMA, you also dabbled in pro wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, what kid didn't want to pro wrestle, you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
who didn't want to be Hulk Hogan, yeah? So I was training for my first MMA fight, and I got a call from Don Fry. And he's like, hey, the school I went to in Minnesota, Brad Reagan's, it's one of the best schools for pro wrestling. Do you want to go to Minnesota and do this? I said, yeah, man, why not? You know, at that time, The Rock was famous, and, you know, it was, you know, I've been watching WWF at the time since I was a kid, you know, so I ended up moving from Arizona, went to Minnesota, was there for 3 months. I actually got to live in Brock Lesnar's house. He was a friend of Don Fry's at the time, so Brock let me stay at his house, even though he was on the road. You know, I could stay at his house, and you know, I ended up getting injured. I actually went twice. I injured myself. I came back, and then I went back there, and I finished the course. And from there, Brad Reagan's made a call to Anoki's gym in Santa Monica. So I got an invite to go down there and train, and then after so many months of training, New Japan World Pro Wrestling came down and did a tryout. And there was about 60 of us that tried out. 2 of us made it. Thank God I was one of them, and I got to do a match in the Saitama Super Arena. So, I mean, just the experience in itself was, I can't explain, you know what I mean? I can't explain it, but I'm glad that I did it, and that was, after one match, I got injured. You know, after a few matches, I'm still doing it, but I got injured weight training, and I never went back to it, and I just got back into fighting. So that was around 2005 or something, 6, I think, somewhere around there.
So like roughly how long were you in the pro wrestling business?
Probably for about maybe a year and a half.
A year and a half,
yeah.
then you got Brock Lesnar,
Yeah.
Inoki. You
Bro,
lived the
it
dream.
was cool. I even actually, after our match, I got to Inoki actually took us out for dinner, you know, and we were there in Japan, and I didn't know much about Inoki then, you know. I knew what he was about. I knew that he was slapping people because it was the honor board, the thing to do in Japan. So we're eating dinner. It's me, the other guy that was with me there from America, and Inoki and some of the staff. And there's a line of people sitting out there, and I'm like, what's going on? So Inoki says, excuse me, he gets up, and he's just out there slapping people. And I'm just eating like, man, that's crazy, because I saw it on TV, you know. But yeah, man, that was an experience. You know, I got to pro wrestle in Japan. I actually got to train there for a week at the Inoki Dojo. So it was an experience, man, that, you know, I'm happy that I got to experience, you know.
Now, what made you decide to like go to MMA as a coach?
Well, I got injured. I tore my pec muscle. So that took about a year of rehab. And I didn't have a name yet in pro wrestling. I was just beginning, so I figured, you know what, I'm not going to go through all that again, leave Arizona. I said, let me just go back into training for a fight. So I contacted my coaches at the time and got me ready for a fight. My first fight was in Cage Rage in Wembley Arena. I shouldn't even have been fighting. I didn't have a record, and the guy I fought was way too qualified for me. But I lied about my record, so I got on the card, you know. But you know, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to go to London, fight at Wembley Arena on pay-per-view. I mean, it was a dream come true, you know. So I took the fight. I ended up getting TKO, but I mean, that's what started my career. After that, I was hooked. You know, after that, I wanted another fight, you know. So it was a great experience, man. It's been great.
And how did you get into Alliance?
I'm from Tucson, Arizona originally, and so is Dominic Cruz. So when I got back from pro wrestling, I was working at this gym, and I met Dominic there. He was teaching classes also, and you know, he would clean up the mats. This when he was just first starting. He was like 17, 18 years old, and I would watch him, and I was like, that guy's moving different. Like Dominic Cruz has moved like that since day one, you know. And I would always tease him like, oh, you don't even know you look like what you're doing. Like, what are you doing? Like, that looks crazy. But, you know, we became good friends, and I remember he came up to me and he said, yo, coach, I don't have any money, but, you know, can you help me train? And I was still pretty new to MMA then, you know, but I just kind of showed him what I knew about strength and conditioning, weight training, and we became really good friends, you know. We're still really good friends, and you know, everybody, I've told this story 1,000 times, but I really want people to see the side of Dominic Cruz that I know and that made him one of my best friends. And he told me one day, he's like, coach, I don't have any money to pay you, but I'm going to be the UFC world champion. He told me that at age 18. I said, yeah, whatever, bro, you know, you're cool, let's train. And he ended up moving away from Tucson to San Diego and joined Team Alliance. And 5 years later, he kept his word, and you know, I asked him, hey man, you think I can get out there and get a job and work with the gym? He said, come on down, and you know, he kept his promise. He brought me with him when he made it, you know. So, and he kept his word. He's a man of his word, you know. So he helped me get into Alliance, and that's how I got in.
Yeah, you know, Dominic is such a class act, but like, for your personal opinion, he's doing good also as a commentator.
Yeah, very good.
Would you still want him to go into the cage and fight?
You know, I got to sit down and have lunch with him December when I went home for Christmas, and he still has fight in him, man, you know. I mean, he had just had that injury that he's recovered from now, but, because I asked him, I go, Dom, what are you going to do? He's like, man, I'm going to fight. I still have it in me. I said, man, go ahead and train, go do it, you know. So, we'll see. We'll see if he's going to fight soon, and you know, I wish him well, and obviously I hope that he wins. You know, he's part of our team. He's a big part of our team. So I'm happy for him, man. He's doing great. I think he's got his own show on ESPN now. You know, so he's been nominated, you know, best commentator for I don't know how many years. So you know, it's good to see Dominic where he's at now to where he came from. It's pretty inspiring, you know. So I'm super proud and happy that Dominic's made it as far as he has. So. And, you know, I have to thank him with put him in the list with Don Fry. You know, he's one of the guys that helped me get into the sport. You know, so I always give thanks to those people because I couldn't have made it here by myself. You know, so Dominic Cruz is one of my best friends also. So yeah, I'll always tell him thank you for that.
Now, Alliance has a stacked roster in them. Like, do you have like any story you could share with us? It could be funny, or it could be like something that would inspire people about the other athletes that you train there.
You know what? It's such a star-studded team, and I think the number one thing, it's not a funny story, it's just more of a motivating story. We have so many high-level fighters at one gym, and there's no egos. Everybody is on the same page to help each other, and you know, when you see guys like Alex Gustafsson, Ross Pearson, Dominic Cruz, Jeremy Stevens, the list goes on, and everybody's in there. Everybody is an alpha male, but we all still get along, or an alpha female. We all get along, we work as a team. And I think that's the number one thing that Team Alliance has, is it's a unity, and I think that's what's made us successful, you know. So not a funny story, but just more of a showing that that's the Alliance brand that we want to bring to the Philippines, is that environment where it's a brotherhood, a sisterhood, it's a family, it's somewhere to go where people know you, and there's respect, and martial arts respect, you know, honor, discipline. So that's what we want to bring here.
Yeah, since you brought it already, Alliance Philippines.
It's coming. It's coming.
60 to 80 days, am I correct?
Yeah, that's what Mr. Vera said on his Instagram. Yeah. So, yeah, we're hoping in about 60 to 80 days we'll open the doors, and you know, first and foremost, obviously we have a big fight team in the States, but we want to bring fitness to the Philippines. We want to show people, our style of training and bring our knowledge, and show everybody here what we know, and we'll learn from them, they learn from us, and really just bring the nation up. And we want to build a big team here. We want to make Alliance PH one of the best teams, not only in Asia but worldwide. That's our goal. But the everyday person that wants to get fit, that's what we welcome. We're Alliance Training Center, so we're not just a fighting gym. We're fitness. We have kids classes. We even have a cryotherapy in there. So we have rehab in there. So it literally is a one-stop facility.
So it's like even someone like me could train there, and aside from like high-level athletes.
Yeah, just because we have a fight team doesn't mean you have to become a fighter. You can go train like a fighter, but you don't have to get hit. You don't have to go fight. But getting in the shape that our fighters do is some of the best shape of any athletes in the world. And I think MMA in general has some of the better conditioned athletes in the world, just because of everything you have to deal with, in the cage, and training is so hard. I think that everybody can learn from us the intensity, the determination, the pride, and the will not to give up and to keep training no matter what happens, and that's why we're all a family unit, so we can help each other get through stuff like that. So everybody is friends outside of the gym. We just don't go train. We have barbecues together, we hang out, we go to Christmas together. So that's what we want to bring here. That's our main focus,
And like when you go to the fighter side, like how many estimate fighters do you plan to take in? Because I know it's gonna be difficult if you manage like multiple fighters at the same time. Like, do you have like a rough estimate in mind on how many athletes you can?
No, I mean, back home at San Diego Alliance, we had anywhere from 20 to 40 high-level athletes training at one time, So, because, we have certain coaches for certain things, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, strength and conditioning, boxing, wrestling. So when we have a room full of 30 to 40 top level fighters, we also have 5 to 6 coaches watching everybody. So that's what kind of keeps it going, it keeps it running smooth, is that everybody respects the coaches respect the fighters, and it just works as a unit, So we're happy to take on 30, 40, 50, 60 fighters, however many we can hold at one time, And we're already getting emails from across the world of fighters that want to come and train. And Brandon and I are excited, and we're going to be bringing in coaches and fighters from the States, maybe 2-3 weeks, a month at a time, to teach their skills, and then we'll rotate them. So we want to bring in the high quality trainers that has helped Alliance become the name that it is now. So we're hoping to do that, and I know we will. And I know there's a lot of talented Filipino fighters here that are waiting for us to open, so that they can have that opportunity to fight for an organization like One Championship.
Yeah, so like when it comes to Filipino training and Alliance, is it going to be something exclusive, or let's say like someone from Team Lakay would just like to try it for a day, or just pick your brains out? Would you be open to like cross training, or would you just want them to have their camp straight?
No, that's why Brandon called it Alliance. So we're okay with you training somewhere else. Go learn something. Maybe it's something that we don't know, or a different way of doing it. We're open to learn. We're not going to restrict you to, you have to stay here only, we're your only coach. No, man, go and learn. That's your career. That's the way you're going to feed your family. Like, we want you to brighten your skill level. Because like I said, maybe you'll come back and teach us something, Just because we're from the States and we've been at a high level does not mean we know everything. But what we don't know, we'll ask somebody that's even got more experience than us, so that way we teach the right technique, the right mechanics behind the punches, behind jiu-jitsu, whatever it is. But we have the resources to be able to answer the questions that any fighter can throw at us. If we don't have it in-house, then we'll bring a coach in that will teach it. One thing that I do want to focus on here is wrestling. I think the fighters here need some more wrestling, so we'll bring in some high-level wrestlers. Obviously striking, strength and conditioning, because I've been in a fight where you're dead tired, and that's the last thing you want to feel. You can't defend yourself because you're tired. I always tell my fighters, you have control of 2 things. You have control of your weight, and you have control of your strength and conditioning. Outside of that, the fight's the fight. We can plan all we want, but the fight doesn't have to go that way. It doesn't mean it's going to go this way. So the 2 things you have is your weight and your conditioning. Other than that, we just roll with the punches. We have to change up the game plan in the middle of the fight, and that's what we do. Sometimes it works. Sometimes the game plan goes to T. Sometimes we get dropped. Sometimes we are on our back too much. We got to switch it up. But that's why we'll have so many coaches here. If for me example, I'm not a big jiu-jitsu practitioner. but I'll always have somebody in the corner that is a high-level jiu-jitsu guy. So that way, when it hits the ground, I know that I have a coach there to back me up, so I don't give the wrong information out to the fighter and potentially make us lose the fight. You know.
Yeah, another thing about Alliance is that you are a family. So does that mean like if someone like Gus or Dominic Cruz would have a fight in Asia, the Alliance Philippines would be open for them also to like stay and train in?
Oh, of course, yeah. If any of them ever come over as far as just for a fight if they're in Asia, then of course, yeah, they're more welcome. But that goes for any fighter. If there's a fighter from a different gym and they have a fight here, for 1FC and they want to come a few weeks in advance to train, yeah, man, come on down. We'll support you 100%. Like I said, as long as you don't bring an ego, you respect the gym, you respect us. Of course, we're going to respect you and welcome you with open arms, because we really just want to evolve the MMA and fitness community that's already existing here. There's actually a stronger one than I thought, but we want to build on that, and I know we can, and we all want to have an alliance, some of the best trainers, and we will build the best team in Southeast Asia, if not all of Asia in the world. So I promise you guys that we'll do that as a country. I promise you that.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's go to the fitness side. So is it safe to say Alliance will be the official home for Castro Fit?
Oh yeah, I'm always going to be under the Alliance umbrella. I have my own brand, Castro Fit, but it's still under the Alliance brand. And for me to be able to be tied to such a large name in the fitness and more MMA industry, it only helps me grow bigger, and it helps me stay in check, so that way I'm always representing Alliance in a good way, whether it's with our fighters or, I coach bikini athletes, I want to get bodybuilders, I always want to be able to have my chin high, that I'm honoring the name of Alliance and respecting it and holding it to the value that it is. So, and I think all of us at Alliance do. We have so much pride in what we do. We always try to conduct ourselves with respect and respect others.
Yeah, aside from that, like the bodybuilders, you also train celebrities, and when you train them, they get ripped or they get really in shape. Yeah. What's the difference of Castro Fit to all the other fitness programs?
You know what is, man? You have to really connect with your client, because let's say you and you're my client, yeah? And I can train you and show you the proper technique, but if you don't have the respect and the dedication to go home and eat properly, then no matter what we do, it's not going to work. So a coach has to build that bond with the athlete, or even just the client, because I only see what I see in front of me when I'm there. I can train you and you can go home tonight and eat Burger King and then go home and eat McDonald's tomorrow, but you're not going to get the results. With that, I have to earn your respect. I have to earn your trust, so that way you do follow what I say. That way we can reach the goal together. I'm not just going to go in the gym and you just do whatever I say. I want your feedback. If something you don't think is working, if your nutrition plan I gave you isn't working, then let's figure it out and let's get to the bottom of it. Because if you're just going in circles and you tell your friends, who's your coach? Coach Castro. I don't see any difference. Who's going to hire me? So I really, really devote a lot of my time, and my girlfriend Kim can tell you that my phone is non-stop, because I have online clients around the world. My clients here message me, and maybe sometimes I should put it down, but I never want to leave a client waiting for my message or waiting for advice, because then I feel like I'm letting them down. So you really have to build that bond with your clients. To my clients said that I left back in Arizona or San Diego, like, man, some of them cried. I cried with them, you know what I mean? So, because I built such a strong bond with them, and even now, I train a few people online that were my clients back then, and they tell me they miss me, I miss them, and it's just, it feels good to have that bond with people that you never would even have that bond with, and it's through fitness, and it's through trusting each other, that I'm going to trust you, that you'll do the extra work so that you can reach that goal, so that we can keep going, So you really have to build that bond, and as far as Castro Fit, it's just a brand that I made up that is the way I train people. It doesn't mean that it's the way every coach should do it, but it's the way I do it, and it's the way it's proven to me. The intensity, the technique, it's just, I don't know, it's just that bonding. I don't know how else to say it. It sounds kind of weird, but it's that trust thing, So when your client trusts you, when your athlete trusts you, and you guys work together, then you'll get that result you want.
Yeah, now I'm in the Philippines, and I'm sure you are aware that like Filipinos love to eat. Like Mark Striegl, Brandon Vera, they love to eat. Like, how do you make them so disciplined? Because Mark Striegl is so disciplined when he's in training. Brandon Vera too. I'm sure your Castro Fit clients are too. Like, what do you say? Because yeah, I think that's one problem that Filipinos face is that they just can't say no.
I'm going to go back to it. I think it's the respect thing. The client or the athlete has to believe in you as a coach. If it's just 1 or 2% that they don't believe in you, then they're not going to follow the program. But the athlete also has to be dedicated. You know, Brandon and Mark are world champions for a reason. And I never take credit for all of Brandon's success. I'll never take credit for all of Mark's success. I'm just giving my piece to help them keep succeeding. But it's still up to the athlete to eat properly, to go do that extra run when I'm not around. And I trust those guys and they trust me. So Brandon Vera is in Guam right now. And I just saw a video of him and we talked about he's sprinting. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
So he's doing his work in Guam, you know. So even when Mark's here, because Mark lives in Baguio full time, but he's here now mostly. And when we don't train together, he's always posting his stories. As you can see, that he's doing his own workout. As far as my clients too, you know, my stories are filled with my clients doing the hard work, doing the sprints. Man, I hate doing sprints, and I got clients that never did sprints, and now they love it. So thank God that I've been able to build that bond with so many clients, and I still keep in contact with clients that I had 10 years ago, you know. So it's really, for any coach out there, you really need to focus on building that bond. And it's not about the coach, it's about the athlete, it's about the client. The coach is in the background. When I was a fighter, then that was my time to shine. You know, now it's time for the fighter to shine. It's time for my client to shine, and I'm in the background just helping. So that's how I see it. You know.
Now let's talk about your pupils. Let's start with Mark Striegl. He's a great athlete. Like he's really a beast, and clearly he's improved since being under you. But like, do you feel like you have a chip on your shoulder that most, like his last 2 fights, has some controversy into it?
Yeah, man. It's to be honest, it's taken away a little bit from the win. You know, it's not to get too far into it, but the first fight was just people bad mouthing, and that's bad. You know, like I don't get it. You know, I wish even if we're not friends, even if for some reason we don't like each other, I still wish you success. I don't wish anything bad on anybody. You know, I've been in the dumps. I've been broke. You know, there's stuff in my past that wasn't the best, you know, but I worked through it, and for somebody to ruin or try to ruin somebody's way of feeding their family, it's very disrespectful, you know. And without getting too much into that, it was an unfortunate incident on his first fight. I mean, the fight went well. I mean, I knew the fight would. Mark's just at a different level. That's what it is, you know. It's a different level of fighting. It's a different level of coaching, and that fight showed it. You know, the second fight, anybody can say what they want. It wasn't the growing shot. You guys were there. You saw that we were working that kick over and over and over. And if you see the replay, Mark must have landed anywhere from 15 to 20 kicks maybe. So if you didn't see the fight, try to find the ending where, you know, our opponent's walking out. He's pretty much getting carried.
And just to add to that, like when they did like the interview, I think the coach slash translator got lost in saying, because like some Japanese watch it, and clearly the fighter was saying like, no, Mark really won and I really don't want, but the translator was like, I think I won, let's have that rematch.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if you saw me kind of talking with, it was actually that guy's his manager. So it was already past, it had to have been already 5 minutes, yeah?
I think it's 10.
It was something crazy, bro. So I saw him get off the cage, and I'm like, I gotta go see what this guy's going to. He was going to Alvin, I think, and I intercepted it, and you know, he was asking for more time. I said, bro, you already had 5 minutes. It's global rules. You have 5 minutes. Come on, you know this. He said, no, coach, we need a few more minutes. I said, nah, man, it's not gonna happen. And, you know, he looked at Alvin, and Alvin goes, you deal with that. I'm the promoter. It's not my business. You guys deal with it. I said, bro, the fight's over, man, or else he needs to get up now and fight, or the fight's over. So honestly, Mark should be 19-2 right now, not 18-2-1. You know what I mean?
And regarding like his previous fight before that with the Korean, the guy was telling him, was saying he was using peds for missing a drug test, which is...
You know what that was?
What?
That was him being unprepared and him knowing he couldn't beat Mark.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the drug test is for hepatitis.
We came clean. We still went and did the drug test. And we came clean, you know?
Hepatitis isn't peds.
Yeah, bro. I mean, Mark was on medication. He had a sore throat. Like, I was really worried for his health that week because he was weak, and you know. But really, the rumors, the trying to slash Mark's name, that was literally that opponent being unprepared and he knew it. If you look back, as a coach, I don't only just look at the fight. If you look back at interviews, if you look back at walkout entrances from him, it was way different from when he fought Mark. You can see the fear and the uncertainty coming down the ring. And I'm not even talking bad, that's just facts. So I knew that he already in his head was done. If you see the way he came out on his other fights compared to Mark's fight, he shot at Mark. That's fear, because he doesn't know how to handle Mark. So, it's just a different level of training. And that's why we are Alliance, because we want people. I'm not saying that he's not talented. He's a very talented fighter. To be honest, he just needs better coaching. And that's the truth.
And in reality, like, Mark is in a different level. Like, if we'll be honest about it.
Yeah, different level.
Now, with that being said, like, do you feel like Mark is being like a big fish in a small pond? Like, do you have a timetable on when you can tell Mark, hey, I think you should try the bigger leagues?
Yeah, right now, we're talking. We're actually going to meet up. I actually got to text Mark after this to meet up for a workout tomorrow. So, we're talking what the next move is. But you guys will know pretty soon. You guys will. Maybe I'll tell you guys first.
Definitely you should.
Yeah, there'll be some stuff going on. But, and that's no disrespect to URCC at all. They've given us a platform, the Filipinos, to fight. So, it's just sometimes, we have to move on. You have to move on. And Mark has a new baby now, and he's got to think about his career. A fighter's career is only so long. You're always an injury away from losing your career. So, we'll see. Maybe we'll do another URCC fight. Maybe we won't. We don't know yet 100%. But, they've always treated us well. We'll see what happens.
Now let's go to your next pupil, Brandon Vera. If we look for like the counterpart of The Rock in the Philippines, it's Brandon Vera. Yeah. How do you like squeeze in a training from him? Does he train right now, or does he do it by himself?
If I'm not available and our schedules are so crazy right now, he'll get his own work in. When I'm free, and this is off camp right now, so it's not as strict. Once we're in camp, then we have a schedule. Right now, it's when we can catch each other because he's so busy with meetings. I have my clients, I have meetings. I got some pretty cool projects I'm working on right now, but I can't say it. And
you'll tell us.
I promise you, I'll tell you guys first. I promise you that. But I'm excited about that. So. Right now, he'll get his bag work in if I'm not around, or he'll hit the weights on his own. But he's doing his sprints. We're fighting a big fight coming up. So we got to drop a little bit of weight. We have to be in better condition because Along's tough, man. He'll beat it. So Brandon knows he's been a world champ. He's been at the top level for so many years. So aside from us coaches telling him what to do, he knows what he needs to do. So I don't worry about him. I don't worry about Mark. Usually I don't worry about any of my fighters because that's already instilled in our fighters at Alliance that you have to put the extra work in. You have to, or else you'll just fall in line with everybody else. You won't stand out. So Brandon's doing his thing, and he's staying in shape. We'll be ready.
He definitely seems in shape, and I did interview him before. He said he wants to be in shape earlier than cut the weight.
Yeah.
Now, he's so busy, he has to do his camp in the Philippines, so he's asking training partners to come here. Do you have any names that you can share with us? He's always trained with Phil Davis.
He always trains with Phil Davis, and of course we would love to have Phil out here, but like Brandon said, Phil has a business back home, and he's got his family, so it's not as easy for him just to get on a plane and come out here. But, I don't have any names yet, because Brandon released that video since he's been gone, so I haven't talked to him too much about it. But once he gets back into Manila, we'll talk about the possible training partners and who's available, because we're hoping and we should be able to do our camp at Alliance. So, we have our home base now, hopefully soon, and you guys will see the gym, and I promise you guys, it's going to be so cool. You guys are going to want to hang out there just all day. I promise you guys that. So, we'll do our camp here. We'll fly in who we need to, and we'll be ready.
Now let's talk about another. You're doing a lot of things right now.
Yeah, you know what, man? There's a lot of opportunities here, and I want to take advantage of them. I'm 45 years old. I'll be 46 in October, and I need to make my mark and be able to help my family back home, and make life a little easier for my parents. I want them to retire soon. And that's my main goal. Is I'll give to them before I take for myself. So. I have a great family back home. They're supportive. My brother, my sister, my niece, nephew. I got my parents. So that's my main thing. I haven't brought my family out here yet because I want to have everything set up. At least a couple of things and show them what we've been working on. So yeah, I have a lot of hats right now, but you know, my girlfriend Kim helps me organize stuff, so I'm doing okay, doing all right.
Another thing is that you're bringing Bad Boy back.
Yeah, Bad Boy, man, Bad Boy.
And you've been teasing, like, you've been releasing some endorsers or some people who represent, and they're very diverse compared to the previous athletes sponsored by Bad Boys.
Yeah.
Usually Bad Boys just for MMA. Now you have Muay Thai, you have like fitness people.
Shoot, I got a 11-year-old phenom. That guy's a stud, man. I love that kid. I told his dad, just leave him here. I'll adopt that little guy. But man, he's an awesome kid, man, and he's perfect for representing Bad Boy PH. You know, he's Filipino, obviously. So what we want to do with Bad Boy is, obviously, like you said, it's been the #1 brand in MMA for so many years. But we want to do lifestyle. Bad Boy in general wants to switch to lifestyle. So that's why we're looking at, you know, endorsers like Myra, endorsers like you know, the little phenom kid, you know, Quinn, and of course Mark. But we want to get skateboarders, we want to get kiteboarders, we want to get. We'll have a few celebrities. We're gonna release some more stuff soon.
You got some rock star friends.
Yeah, you know, it's here, you know, at Flying House. So yeah, man, we want to make it into a lifestyle brand. It's not only just for MMA. We want to branch off to fitness, to lifestyle. You know, we want to do everyday wearing clothes like, you know, shorts. Yeah, we want to do a huge array. We actually have the license, so we can actually print our stuff here and actually have control of what we want. As long as, you know, we coordinate with Bad Boy and they'll approve it, and you know, we're all on the same page. But man, we're so excited to bring that here. Our first shipment should be here within 2 to 3 weeks. Our website is ready to be launched. We just have to get our shipment in, and then we'll be ready to go. You know, so and we've gotten a really good response already. You know, and for me, just a quick backstory. I've been wearing Bad Boy since I was in high school. So to wear it in high school and then to be endorsed by them for 6 years as a coach, and now to have a license and be a part of the Bad Boy brands, and it's pretty exciting for me just as a personal goal. You know, it's pretty cool. So thank you to Bad Boy. I appreciate that you guys letting me do this, and I'm excited. And we'll do them good, and we'll make sure and fill this country full of Bad Boy gear for sure.
Bad Boy for life.
That's it, bro. That's it.
Now, one more thing is that you're going to like the charity side with the black tie, black eye affair. Could you share some things with us?
Yeah, so they approached me. GP, who's a great friend of mine, he's the GM at Solaire, and his partner Jamie, they approached me and they asked her if I wanted to coach pretty much beginners to maybe a little bit of experienced boxers. It's for a charity. You know, they're selling tables to watch the event. They're selling food, drinks. It's a charity foundation called Berlani. It's underprivileged children. So you know, anytime you can do something for children, man, it's awesome. If it's one thing that I hate is seeing children go without food or don't have clothes. So it's a great event. We're raising money for that foundation, and you know, we have some local celebrities. I don't know if you saw the story I put out yesterday. So we have JM Guzman. He's fighting Kiko. Yeah, so it's a boxing event, so it's full headgear, 3 2-minute rounds, and you know, of course it's a challenge, but the main part is the charity, you know. So big ups to GP and Jamie for putting this together, and it's going to be at the Shang on August 10th. So if you want more information, please just message me on any social media, Instagram at Coach Castro _ or else the black tie black eye event. So man, I hope everybody can get involved and just help out the kids. You know, that's one thing that we will do at Alliance. We do anti-bullying seminars. We go to different schools. We talk to kids about what mixed martial arts can do for them. You know, we show them how to prevent bullying, or at least, you know, help a friend out. So this is right up our alley with the kids. So I'm super excited about that.
Now the most important question. Are we going to see you in a suit?
Man, you know what? I haven't bought one shirt here that fits me. I've bought 2 pairs of shoes here. Everything I have is from the States. So I'm going to have to go to a tailor and get a suit. But I'm actually cornering, so I don't know if I'm going to corner in a suit. Maybe I will. Didn't Connor's crew do that? Yeah, so maybe I'll do it in a suit. You know what I mean? But it's too hot, man.
It's in the Shang, there's air conditioning.
But from walking to the car to the front door of Shang, I might melt in that little area, you know. But I might wear a suit, or maybe
George
just
Castro in a suit is gonna be.
But you know what I'll still have is this.
Oh, definitely you should.
Yeah, we'll see though. We'll see. We'll see.
Now let's talk about Taco Tuesdays.
Taco Tuesdays.
Now
Yeah.
let's go over the food here. Let's start with the nachos.
All right. So the nachos here is already a Flying House staple. They have nachos. They just added my mom's ingredients, which is in the tacos. So the reason that there's two reasons why I wanted to do this. One, because eventually I do want to open up a Mexican restaurant, hopefully next year. That's one reason. But the main reason is that I've been here for 2.5 years, and I've only been back home for 30 days out of those 2.5 years. So, I miss my family. I miss my mom's cooking. So at least every Tuesday I can come to Flying House and I can eat my mom's food, and I can feel like I'm at home, And I know it makes my mom proud when I call her and say, Mom, everybody loves your recipe. It's actually sold out the first night that we did it. So yesterday was the last night, but I think we're going to keep going, or else even just add it to the menu. But it's been a big hit. People love it. It reminds me of home. It's authentic Mexican food from my mom's recipe book. And thank you, Mom. I love you. So this is something that reminds me of home. It gives me comfort,
I guess you better try the nachos.
Try it out, bro. Yeah, no, go ahead, man. I've eaten these for 46 years of my life. Go ahead, bro.
Did you learn this from your mom?
Yeah, I've always liked cooking. I actually thought about going to culinary school for a little while, so I still might do that. But, it's funny because my dad will love this, but my dad and my brother are huge mechanics. That's what they do. I know nothing about cars. Only I know how to put gas. I always was in the kitchen with my mom, maybe because I was a fat little Mexican kid. I don't know. But, I love cooking. I cooked here a few times with them, but the cooks here have done a good job at Flying House, and they've mimicked it, and it tastes great, and I hope you like it.
I'm so happy you're talking right now, man.
Yeah, so... Yeah, man. I loved it. I love it. The Flying House put their own little twist on it with the charcoal flour tortilla. But everything is made here. The ground beef, the chicken, the pork, the avocado is made here. The salsa is made here. Everything's my mom's recipe except for this charcoal tortilla, which kind of adds a little flavor and color, But back home, I would use maybe a corn tortilla or something like that. But there's a couple of small ingredients that we don't have here in the Philippines, but we'll work on getting that in. But at least I know now people enjoy it, they like the taste, so I can go ahead and start planning for a restaurant later next year.
Now, which one here is the beef?
This one's the beef, chicken, pork. So this is beef, chicken, pork.
Beef, chicken, pork.
Yeah, try it just in case you have mixed stuff. Yeah.
Try it. I've been asking for taco.
You have, bro. You have. Cholo's behind the camera with his mouth watering. He's getting mad at you, bro.
I'm not carrying it.
Cholo, you gotta go get your own, bro. These are his.
These are good.
You like it?
Yeah.
Nice, brother. Nice.
Something that, there are a lot of restaurants that say they make authentic Mexican food.
Right.
I think this is the first time.
You like it? Thank you, bro. Thank you. See, Mom. See, Mom.
Thank you. What's the name of your mom?
Gina.
Thank you, Miss Gina. Your son is doing you good here.
Thanks, brother.
How long do you plan before? Do you want them to live here?
Well, they'll visit either later this year or next year for sure. But when I open the restaurant, when I plan on it, I do want to fly my mom out here and my dad. But I need them to stay here for about a month so they can train the cooks, my mom, So hopefully I can get them to stay here a month. But we want to do a little bit of infusion with the Filipino kind of taste. That's why in the burrito I added rice. I added some red beans. I believe we added red beans here. Kind of want to have a little fusion with Filipino food. That way, everybody enjoys it. You know what I mean? So, I hope you like it, bro.
Like I said,
nice, bro. Nice, but we'll order some more right now. No worries about it.
Now, Coach, before I let you go, I think you could tell the people, where could they catch you, your social media handles?
Yeah, for sure. So, guys, if you please follow our bad boy at Bad Boy Brands PH. That's our Instagram. My Instagram is at Coach Castro _. Facebook is just George Castro, or I have my Castro Fit page. Man, thank you for the support, Manila. I really appreciate it. I hope that we can bring everything that we promised. We'll work hard to bring it. I really want to. We as Alliance really want to build up MMA here and fitness. So thank you everybody for the love. It's hard being away from home, but this feels like my second home now. So thank you to everybody here in the PH that has made this a home for me now. So, and you guys at Fight Sports Manila, I mean, come on, man, you guys are my boys now. So, I appreciate everything you guys do, man. Thank
Definitely,
you.
and anything you want to do in the future, just give us a call.
Thank you,
We'll be there.
thank you, thank you.
Now, thank you for joining.
Oh, enjoy,
Let's do
man.
a fist bump
Enjoy,
because my
bro.
hands are full.
Enjoy, bro. Enjoy, please,
Yeah.
please.
I'm gonna eat all of this now. My brother's not getting any. George Castro again. Thanks
Thank
so
you
much.
guys. Thank you guys. Thank you.